the Force, Luke.
Sometimes truth isn't good enough.
I feel the need for speed.
Ray, when someone asks you if you're a god, you say yes!
Because it's their time. Their time. Up there. Down here, it's our time. It's our time down here.
What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to FrostCast. It's Wednesday. It's 9 o'clock. It's episode 82, if you can count the who is. But I'm going to bring in King Z, and we're going to have our weekly chit-chat of all the important stuff going on in our preferred nerd circles of sci-fi, fantasy, horror, all that kind of stuff. I'm even going to mix in some gaming this week, King Z. You saw the topic list, and I wanted to put your mind at ease. I know you're not a big fan of either of those franchises. This time I mean it, High Guard in particular. But I see some overlap between this gaming situation that's going on with High Guard and with Battlefield 6 and a lot of what we talk about week to week with things like Star Wars. So I figured this is going to be a useful topic, and I'm gonna pick at your brain a little bit when we get to that one a little later. But I just wanted you to think we're not changing gears. We're not going into a gaming channel situation. Neither of us is that good. You don't want to see King Z play.
No, I'm straight trash. But what we're trying to do here, and to explain it, is that we venture in all of the nerddom that is out there. Not only are we Star Wars and comic books and horror and sci-fi and fantasy, we play video games, we read books. We want to throw that in every now and then. So there's some of you who might be interested in that, might get some of that. More of those people come in to hit that subscribe button, hit that notification bell, so you don't miss when we talk about those things. And also, there's still that membership that's out there, $2 a month, and you get a cool gift. So come on, everybody, let's play.
Dude, not for nothing, dude. I thought that little, I'm going to type in on my little extra keyboard real quick. Hold on. As I was saying, whoop, there it goes. I thought that little book strand the other day, that book portion of the FrostCast 80, I think it was 2 weeks ago. I thought that was pretty solid. You went off on a bit of a tear doing the Brando, Sando, Mistborn stuff. I held court on some Dresden Files longevity. I thought I had a blast doing that. So if folks are looking for more of that kind of content, I could absolutely up my Audible budget and cover more new releases or, classic favorites for the genres that we cover anyway.
If you want absolutely more audiobooks, I could tell you which voice actors to listen to.
Yeah, we know.
Voice actors to run away from.
We know. What up, Pate? What up, Warden Prime?
Hello.
I know I got you covered for the audiobooks for sure. You'd be all up in the mix for that. But yeah, the gaming topic in particular, when we get there later, it came half inspired because I already wanted to talk about High Guard anyway a little bit more. I know you're not following, and this is my usual joke about you're not a fan of the franchise. I know you're not following gaming news as much as I follow gaming news. But I know you and I have talked about High Guard and how it instantly flopped after it picked up that last spot at the Xbox Expo, the gaming awards. It had like that coveted last spot for free. Jeff Keighley gave it away for free. A little bit of news coming out that they might not have been the indie effort they purported to be, having been backed by Tencent. So this, and having just laid off 90% of their staff. And I saw another video on it about it, and it made me think of how that kind of flim-flam shammery goes on in a lot of the kind of stuff we watch, especially as it pertains to how the creators behind the scene, they get high on their own supply of toxic positivity, and then they act surprised when the rest of the world doesn't see things the same way they do. You know what I mean? I think that's a common rookie unforced fumble that's going down in entertainment across the board today. But we'll definitely get to that. But first, I think we have some exciting stuff, more exciting than us pontificating, if you will, on the high and lows of the gaming world. We got a couple of trailers lined up for you guys. One of them is connected to our poll for the evening, King. If you want to let them know what the poll is today, I'd appreciate it.
All right. So unless you're living under a rock, you saw that the trailer for Spiderman Noir, or they're calling it the Spider Noir, I believe, for this one, is coming out May 22nd, and the first trailer dropped. But the thing at the end of the trailer, they talked about that they're going to have a color version and a black and white version. So our poll question is, how are you going to watch Spider Noir? Are you going to watch it in black and white as Noir is intended, or are you going to watch it in color to see all the great costumes?
Yeah, I had a feeling there was going to be a little bit of extra explanation on those poll options there, but for sure. I think that's a wild stylistic choice for them to make too. You know, it's not if they film it or they create it one way and then they have to go back and you're the behind the camera guy, you could explain it better than me. Like they can't just like flip a switch and go from one version to the other. Like doesn't it have to be like regrade? Oh, it is that easy.
It's
never mind. I thought this would have required extra effort to get so what do they do it in color graded first to get everything right and then flip a switch to black and white? Is it that simple?
It's pretty much that simple. Because with digital technology, back in the day, you would have to shoot on different of a color film based on black and white film. They actually did have a separation, and you can still do that. You can set everything to black and white when you are filming and light it that way. Or what you could do is light it for a way to do both, which I did see a little bit of the color because it is at the end of the trailer. You just see the color one that pretty much lit it for both at the same time, shot it, and then they did the black and white, edited it all up, did the color grade, and then did a different one, which you just take it all, you can just change the nodes and make it where it could be in color and color corrected, and then put your look and your grade on it and everything.
Oh, true. Well, if it's that simple, I take back my respect for them doing it if they just click at different filter buttons like a 15-year-old girl on Instagram.
No. Believe me, if you're a colorist worth your salt, you're not using LUTs.
Yeah, true that. I did see that little bit of the end of that trailer. We're going to watch that in just a second. The color version I thought looked good, but it's like you said, man, it's a vibe check to have, a noir in black and white, a grittier, grimier, older school cut type of story. Like it would, if it was just some straight up hokeified Spider-Man as a private detective kind of story, the color version would work fine, I would bet. But I'm definitely my poll number is probably going to go the same way yours is. I'm black and white first, for sure. It's got to be.
My answer is black and white. That's how I'm going to watch it because that's the way noir is meant to be. Like there's certain things that have to happen to make it a noir type story. Right. They even had a video game. What was it, like L.A. Noir back in the day?
Oh yeah. Yeah.
And there's certain things that happened to give it that noir. Like you had to have that voiceover where you're like hearing the protagonist's thoughts on top of his dialogue with the other characters and stuff like that.
And it's got to be a bunch of great commentary on society.
Yeah. And you just, you could almost say that your favorite book series, Dresden Files, as you just talked about,
definitely
is written in a noir type storytelling.
Especially those early books, those first 2 or 3, absolutely. That was
I could definitely say in the first one because
Stormfront, hell yeah.
Yeah. Like even the end has a noir ending where like he's back at his office and he's like
one of my favorites. Dude, one of my favorites of all time. When the things that go bump in the night flip on the light and come out from under the bed, give me a call. I'm in the book. Dude, badass. Badass, capital B. Love that shit.
So
that's how it started. It's a bookend. I gotta go.
Yeah.
It's a bookend. He says it at the beginning, like paragraph 3. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And it reappears at the end. I love that. Anyway.
So yeah, there are certain things that have to happen. And one of the things is that it's classically black and white. There have been color noirs. Even the video game I just talked about was in color.
It was a 360 game, colorized, of course. Yeah. But I think they added, if I'm not mistaken, I think they did add an update later on in the game's life to actually strip it and bust it down into a black and white.
I think that was the computer version. You could get the black and white add-on.
But other things have done that too. I think if I remember right, famously, Stephen King's The Mist was originally Darabont wanted to shoot that originally in black and white, but the studios were like, no one's gonna go see it if it's in black and white. So they did that colorized, and then that got a DVD extra black and white version, and that all went publicly. That was before things could go viral online. Like people really loved that, and they ate it up. Because some things just suit the vibe of black and white.
I got something for The Mist in just a second, but and then the one time that it fails would be the Snyder cut Justice League in black and white. I'm like, come on, like we waited forever for the Snyder cut, and it did not. It made Flash actually not a big bum. Because the Josh Whedon was like, I just run around and push people. I don't really know how to fight. Yeah, that was all cut. Thank God. Because that's not what Flash does. Flash has the Mach 1 punch.
Actually throw hands, right? Stupid. That was Do you know what though? Was there a big version between the Justice League black and white and the Justice League color version anyway? The palette in that was so muted, indistinguishable from color anyway. Not a lot of color going on in that film. Version, but anyway.
But about the Mist, they did say that they are in talks of doing a remake.
I actually did hear that. And somebody, I think it was the article I caught on whatever. I don't credit whoever I read. It was Cosmic Book News or wherever I picked it up. The big question in the article was, but how do they top that banger ending? And I'm like, you don't, because it's a banger ending that the movie crew figured out better than the book, and that the book's author was like, yeah, I should have thought of that. It was better. Like it fits the tone of what the noir-ish story or the depressing bleakness of that story was. You don't got to one-up it.
It's every perfect. Top 5 list for most
biggest gut punch
shocking ending.
Yes, and it usually wins. Wins because it leaves you hollowed out. Yeah. You feel terrible walking out of that movie, man. I don't want to. What are they going to one up? They're like, what the army rolls in and nukes the town? Like I've seen that in every zombie movie ever. Who cares?
Yeah, they did it in Return of the Night of the Living Dead.
They did it in that. They did it in one of the. I did it in AVP Requiem. They've done it in like a million fan films and other pieces of fan. That's always the solution. Always. Resident Evil's done it. Like enough. Like yeah, I'm all good with the nuke ending, but. Why don't we jump into let's get these trailers running, since they actually seem to be playing smooth, so you guys might actually be able to watch these with us for a change. We will have to keep up a little bit more running commentary over the trailers, because I did just get another one of those stupid ass notices that a video got claimed from a trailer we did in like November. I don't even remember what it was.
They should just be happy. We put people on the map, so they should just be happy we're talking about
We're kingmakers over here on Winter Wolf's Den. We're looking at you, Robin Hood. We love you. I still have MGM Plus. I haven't canceled it. I'll find something on there.
We put MGM Plus on the map and made that the #1 streaming show on Amazon.
Until, that other show came out and blew its doors off.
Well, I mean, you can only hold the title for so long. Everyone has to drop the title eventually.
Yeah, bro. And it was Fallout. I mean, come on. People have been waiting like a year and a half for Fallout Season 2.
Got some Fallout news too that I just picked up.
What's that?
I got some Fallout news too. We talked about that after the trailers.
Yeah, let's run some Spider-Man real quick and get into it.
All right, let's see some noir.
I'm gonna go full screen for that.
Tell me why.
Tell me why.
Know how it ends.
Look, you could tell the black and white is just so stylized.
Looks crisp too.
Start from the beginning.
That's a good detective opener right there. You get mysterious femme fatale comes into the office. That's classic as hell.
Now, I do know that they said that they're going to change. He is going to be called the Spider because it's more noir. So he's not going to be Spider-Man in it. But
I did not know that it was Ben Reilly. I'm not super familiar with that character. Dude, this has, with the right filter thrown over this looks just like something like Sin City.
Wait.
To me. To like the layperson.
What the hell happened to him?
Yeah,
They beat up some guys in a bar.
Sin City was the noir, modern noir type feel. They had the mixture of color and black and white.
Love the costume. Love the mask.
And I believe Nick Cage is the only one who can pull this off.
That's a great, and you know how much I love the word subversion. That's a great subversion of
what are you thinking about over there?
I love that.
I have an existential crisis, if I'm honest.
Age like a nerve, huh? Gotta be in his 60s, right?
The look at him with the hat, the trench coat, peering over the city.
He's a vibe. I got a little collectible right up here. That looks good. So Spider Noir. Okay. And here, there we are. That's what we were talking about pre-show.
Yeah. Just a little hint of it.
Dude, yeah, I think for sure we're absolutely going to run through it in black and white for sure on our first
Yes,
watch.
definitely.
That's going to be how that's going to go.
I might go back and watch it in color just to get the vibe of it, but yeah, I think that is a black and white must watch.
I think we didn't mention it before the little commercial there just ended. Sorry, the trailer. Not a movie, series on Amazon Prime, because I thought, and I had this in my head, like how we were talking about MCU shows a couple of years ago, and the one with Don Cheadle, it was going to be Armor Wars. Remember that? It was a movie, then it was a show, then it was a movie again. It was a miniseries, limited release. Then it was a show again. I thought Spider Noir all this time was just they had an elsewhere, single one-off movie that they were just going to throw out there and maybe connect it to MCU proper later. Nope. Series on him.
No, actually, this is a spin-off from Into the Spider-Verse. That's the reason why they're making it.
But I thought it was a one-off movie. I didn't realize it was a series at all.
Yeah, when they first it was only a movie for about a month. And then they're like, this would play better if it's a series. And it's been a series ever since.
Dude, absolutely. Because think about it. If they give you 8, 9, 10, however many episodes of this, each episode could legitimately feel like a couple of chapters from like your classic detective novel. Like it fits the tone, the style perfectly, but the effects look great. I don't think you really are either, unless it's like off the wall bad. Like people like to pick on computer generated effects a lot. I don't think you and I we bitch about a lot of other things. I don't think we tend to single that out ever. The Oracle says it's 8 episodes. Thank you, Oracle. So that's a good number. And most people with Spider-Man in particular, they seem to hate for whatever reason. Anytime he's web slinging between buildings, like, oh, it looks fake. I'm like, bro, it's that or you don't get him swinging. Like there's no practical effects.
There's no practical effects that we can really do here with him between buildings.
But you just know that like 5 seconds after episode 1 drops, some jackwad out there in the world's going to be on the YouTube video, be him like, ooh, PS2 graphics when he's swinging. I'm like, dude, come on. Stop it.
I'd rather have PS2 graphics than some guy who just
on a rope. Right. and then to get into like the next scene, he just lands.
Yeah.
Like, no, I'm good with that. We gotta knock that shit off. But tell me about Nick Cage. You said is basically the guy for this role, right?
Yes. Nick Cage is the way he just does things, kind of fits the Ben Reilly persona. And I think that's why he was initially chosen for the voice actor in Into the Spider-Verse as well for Ben Reilly and the Spider, is because his voice, his mannerisms, the way he just does things, like that's just who he is. And I think it's perfect for our Man of the Year, Nick Cage.
I think the only risk I see here is the director's really got to stay on top of keeping his zaniness meter at like a 6 instead of letting it get to like 7, 8, 9, 10, because a noir story typically can't be ridiculous. Like it is supposed to have some element of dramatic stakes and seriousness to it. I get it. It's a comic. They're going to have to play around with some stuff. The villain's probably going to be ridiculous, but I really don't need this to be Ghost Rider Spirits of Vengeance. It could be Ghost Rider. There was a perfect amount of zany there combined with, some of the dark stuff that goes along with a Ghost Rider project. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But Spirits of Vengeance was just like, we dialed it all the way up to like 15. Too much.
The second one was pretty much that movie that Josh Gad was in Wonder Man. It was Cash Grab.
right, 100%. And that was and then Cash Grab too, which was the best part, dude. I hope someday if we can get another Ghost Rider movie out of these people, I'd be down. I'm good for.
MCU has introduced Mephisto now.
Mephisto, yeah, he's there.
So we can bring in Ghost Rider easy.
Give me some Johnny Blaze. I don't want a modern version. I don't want the car version. I don't want the girl version. Like I need me some Johnny Blaze. It doesn't even need to be an origin story. I think, and that's the unique thing about superhero movies in 2026. I think, right? It's an advantage. I mean, we've done 25 years of like AAA superhero movies, starting with like Blade and Spider-Man way back. Mm-hmm. I think the whole world knows how Spider-Man got his powers, that Superman came from Krypton, and that the Waynes are going to die in every dark alley ever, right? So I think we're good on origin stories now. I think people have enough collective awareness of characters that if you just did a 5-minute beginning of the movie as the credits roll, breakdown of how Ghost Rider became Ghost Rider, you could just go. Just go. Tell me the good story. Everything doesn't need to be an origin story at this point. I think we're past that.
And I think they've been doing a good job of that. I mean, they did the Captain America, Iron Man, and Thor. But when you got to Spider-Man, there was no origin story. There was no true origin story to Scarlet Witch. So, I mean, there's certain characters that you don't get a true origin story, and I think that's great. We see what happens when they overdo the origin stories with was it Craven the Hunter and Morbius and
Oh yeah, no, I'm good.
And Madam Web. We don't need origin stories.
That's what I mean. Like, and those movies bombed anyway, but they didn't bomb in particular because they spent time doing the origin story. You know what I mean? They were just bad movies in themselves. Hey, Travis, what's up, dude? I love Ghost Rider too, just for how Nick Cage does whatever the hell he wants. The visual effects are fantastic. The way the leather melted. But dude, listen, it wasn't that it was all the way bad. There was some stuff to like. I particularly love that one half transformation scene that they did where half his face went skull version with like the eye popping out. The bubbly leather on the jacket was pretty good too. There was some good stuff there. The Spirit of Vengeance idea is a great angle. You know, it's a great bit of lore they picked up from the books for sure. But the movie overall just wasn't it. Not after the first one that did pretty good in the era before Phase 1 mainstream.
Yeah, it was a standalone Sony movie, wasn't it? Am I frozen? Matt's frozen. Okay. I just want to make sure I wasn't frozen. So yeah, I don't really remember Ghost Rider 2 all that much. I remember watching it because I enjoyed the first one. I thought the first one was great. So I don't really remember the second one. Now we're going to wait on him to come back. I don't know what happened over there. But let me just go full screen on me real quick, just so we don't see loading screens. All right, so we do have another trailer, but we're going to put that on hold. And I'm going to talk about a little bit of the other news I have about Fallout. Since we just got done doing Fallout Season 2, it wrapped. We did find out that Fallout is going to have, they're saying, almost a guaranteed 6 seasons. Oh, he is back, everybody.
I thought YouTube died for a minute, so I didn't hear anything you just said about Fallout. So if you want to do me a favor, just get me up to speed real quick.
I was just trying to fill time till you got back. I didn't want to do the other trailer without you.
I appreciate that. What's going on with Fallout, though?
Fallout, they're saying, is going to be a 6-season run is what they're pushing for. So it's nowhere near being done yet.
Okay. Now I'm concerned. Now, you thought I'd probably be excited. Are you not at least a little concerned? Like, if they're already taking the best aspects of the games now and breaking out full seasons now, where do they go for seasons 4 through 6 for that? We're going to go original material. Are they up to the task, or is this a Rings of Power situation?
Well, we already in brand new material because all they're running off is lore. So they have the whole world to play with. So I think they could do it if they keep it at the level that they're doing. I think they will have to eventually move on from the father-daughter, which I think the end of season 2 was kind of that push of the father-daughter push. I do believe that we need to push more into the Brotherhood for a little bit. And I think watching the Brotherhood War will be really good, especially if the Commonwealth is going to be coming out to the West Coast. And you could really play on to that and just see how Lucy and Matt Smith live in this new world, and then like how the New World Order 10 got killed by cockroaches. So whatever the brothers going to do. So yeah, I definitely do believe that they could pull off 6 seasons. But, and I think he died again. So I'm going to go full screen once again on me. Whoop. Oh, look at this. It's the King Z show today, as he is having multiple issues. Oh, wait, I got a message from him. Let's say, and it says, and I'm off again. So why don't you restart everything and we will see where we are in a second. Sorry about all the technical difficulties, everybody, but hey, live streams, live shows, you never know what's going to happen. So, well, where are we? Let's go back to the topic list. I know he wants to talk about this High Guard Battlefield and why they're not doing too well. I'll wait for him for a little bit on that. But what I'm going to talk about is that these type of games are service type games. One of the most successful ones, especially here recently, is Arc Raiders. And I believe there's a huge difference between what Arc Raiders and how they're trying to do it and how High Guard and Battlefield are trying to do it. Now, a lot of people are trying to copy the Call of Duty when they did Warzone. But the thing is, when they did Warzone, you have to think it was a genie in the bottle because it happened right at the time when everybody was stuck inside for the pandemic. The first Warzone dropped right around that time. So it was that genie in the bottle. And that's the reason why the gaming system that it made, which was a gaming as a service, really worked at that time. And now all these other companies are now trying to copy that, and they're trying to do it in that, trying to catch that lightning in the bottle again. Yet people have so many of these games now, you're not going to pull your hardcore fans. Now, Battlefield 6 has its hardcore fans, and the reason why they're pulling out is because they try to make Battlefield more Call of Duty-ish, and you can't do that. That's not what Battlefield's about, and you're killing your original fan base by doing this. They made the maps too small to have a Battlefield type thing where you're having tanks. Tanks are way OP in it because, if you have an engineer, you pretty much just kill everybody with a tank, and it's such a small map. Soon as you come back and you try to get back into the fight, another tank is killing you. Battlefield is supposed to be huge Battlefield maps. They were supposed to be, if you go back to the original one and the plan that they have, we were talking about full theaters of war type battlefields that you had. The Vietnam one was their first test of a smaller map, and they realized then that they had to go a little bit bigger if you're going to have helicopters flying people around, boats driving off, and you're going to have tanks. So why Battlefield is failing is, one, they're refusing to update anything or put new content out, and that's kind of what you have to do when you're a game by service, and they were completely failing on all of that. And then with High Guard, they tried to jump in with I guess it was a fantasy-based type game for service with no real campaign. It was pretty much just open world PvP, PvE, kind of like Arc Raiders.
Just P.
But the thing is, they try to make it so much of a cash grab and microtransactions to start making their money back. They didn't realize the work behind of making these things work. You have to have dedicated developers that are there every day working on something new and also improving what you already have. All right. I think I ran it long enough.
Yes, it looks like you jumped wholly into the video game conversation.
Yeah, I'm still waiting for you to do the trailer. I didn't want to just jump into it. So
no, let's just do let me add to that video game thing real quick, because then I can connect it to what I wanted to ask you about anyway. I think you're about mostly accurate on both takes on those games. High Guard in particular, it seems like it was it seems like they had a nifty idea that they tried to really insert into a niche market that didn't really need said nifty idea, where they had this idea not just for another hero shooter, but they wanted a multi-phasic game that had kind of rounds built into it, like a prep round where you were acquiring resources to fortify a base, but it was super superficial. Then they had giant maps that would work great for a Battlefield size level of battle with 64 players on each team, but they only had 3v3. And then on top of that, a lot of people had criticisms that the character designs were kind of generic fantasy inspired, like you said. And there was a lot of things not working right with it. And then on top of it, you have performance issues that the game didn't seem like it was well optimized for a lot of players. And a good bulk of the negative reviews that came out for the game early on were performance related, in terms of crashing, in terms of drop frame rates, in terms of input lag, other things like that just really destroy games on launch. If you want your game not to be well received, a great way to do that is to get a high profile spot on a major gaming award and then not deliver a top-notch product after the fact, all the while putting out there on your billing from the creators of Titanfall 3 and Titanfall and Apex Legends. You probably don't want to do that. You probably don't want to draw too much attention to yourself to only deliver a C+, B- effort. You know what I mean?
No, movies do that all the time. They're from the producers of this,
and then from the visionary creator. Right. Oh, dude, exactly. And that's, and I think especially within horror, I think of things I can't even remember the names of the movies, but I know for a fact I've seen like Clive Barker's name and Wes Craven's name on crap they had nothing to do with, other than or Tom Clancy in the book world, co-produced, co-written with Tom. Like, no, it wasn't. He wrote not a word for that when he was with us. It's just he licensed his name for you to use, and it's his verse.
He started doing it to help other writers get started, so people to figure out who they are,
and lend some credibility.
And then that kind of turned into his book model there towards the end of his life. So
because it printed money, because it printed,
and it also helped out a lot of different authors write their own stuff just using his format.
Right. And then Battlefield, like you were talking about, Battlefield is going to go down. They're going to study Battlefield 6 like people are studying The Last Jedi now, right? Battlefield 6 was the #1 selling game in 2025. They outsold Call of Duty for the first time in like 20 years with that title, and took all that goodwill, all that whole, hey, we see what you guys complained about which direction like Black Ops is going from Call of Duty. We're not going to do that. We're not going to have Nicki Minaj skins. We're not going to have Street Shark skins. We're not going to have anime filters over our people, so we get these flickering neon pulsing graphics on your character. We're not going to do it. We're just going to give you boots on the ground. We're going to keep it real. We're going to keep it normal, like how you would expect a non-tactical mil sim arcade shooter kind of game to be, like classic Battlefield, right? And they've done fuck all with that now for a game that came out in the middle of October. Like they're on season 2 now, and season 2 just dropped like yesterday and brought 1 new map, 2 new guns, yet another limited time only play mode, and like a gadget that I think they're going to nerf into oblivion anyway, right? And so people have gone back and they've now retroactively started comparing content drops for like Battlefield 4, Battlefield 3, and saying like, wait a minute, how come when we were paying you $15 for an expansion pack, we were getting like 4 maps, 10 guns, a new vehicle, this, and this? Can we just go back to that, please? Like we'll all now gladly go back to paying the $15 2 or 3 times a year to get some quality shit instead of this drip-fed nonsense of one remastered piece of shit map from 5 years ago and a dirt bike. Like that. That's where we're at now. Like, so now they're doing the whole thing. The shows out there like, well, season 3 is where they're really going to take into consideration what you guys want. And that's kind of the connection I wanted to make with High Guard to that other video that I'd seen. I was going to ask you. The topic of the video I watched was, are game reviews a problem now? And they cited a big Twitter article from one of the developers of High Guard, who at the same time claimed, and we hear this a lot in fandom for movies, that it's just a loud, dissatisfied segment of like fans of Star Wars that are negative on anything. We don't have any real power. But then a paragraph later, they're blaming gamers for the fall of their game. And this particular article cited the multiple thousands negative Steam reviews High Guard got within like a day of its launch. And I'm like, if I go to a restaurant and the first 3 bites of my meal are no good, do I have to eat the whole thing to tell King Z and the missus to not eat that there? No, I send it back. I'm good. I'll have something else. So I don't know why these people think I owe them, especially if it's a paid product. And High Guard wasn't a free-to-play game. I owe you $40 and 8 hours of my time before you'll consider my review authentic. If my review after 2 rounds is the game dropped 6 times in two attempted rounds, and it wasn't fun, and I don't like the character designs, like I think that's legitimate. I hate one-word reviews either way. Like if I get a 1-phrase 5-star review, something that says best movie ever, best game ever, I automatically discredit that. That's not real.
Yeah, that's not real. That might even be someone who's connected with the film.
100%. I guess the expression for that, it used to be review brigade. It used to be called review brigading. I guess people are calling it praise bombing now. I heard that expression. Praise bombing.
Everything we're gonna use a bomb these days. Why is everything a bomb?
Like it's shit's gonna blow up like The Godfather. Yeah. So that was the point of that article. There is that our reviews are all reviews fake because it's so easy to have an AI bot farm operation. I guess I don't know. Like, dude, I don't think so.
It really is.
It probably is, but at the same time, gamers and nerds have been critical of their hobbies for decades. We don't need any extra help being critical. And this is kind of the byline on my note for praise. Or give praise or praise bomb. We do that. Look at our review of Wonder Man.
Mm-hmm.
That's the box. I'm doing the box thing. Okay.
Yeah.
Right. Like my note that I put on the little line here as I was writing out the topics was, how do they not get it yet? They have all the data available. And that's kind of, it applies to all of these things. It applies to High Guard. It applies to Battlefield. If you have several items, several entries in your IP or in a genre together, and the feedback on these things constantly is, let's just use Battlefield. We want bigger maps that better support vehicle combat. We want a better variety of gunplay. We want balanced gunplay. We want stricter class rules so you can't be an engineer carrying an LMG and the defense or whatever, you know what I mean? Like whatever angle it is. Like we live in a world now in 2026 where these clowns knew 48 hours after launch of Battlefield 6 exactly what was working and exactly what wasn't working, because Twitter and YouTube are things. When you and I were kids and playing on Super Nintendo and Sega Genesis, some shit shipped, and if your copy of Mortal Kombat 2 was broken, it was just broke. Like that was it. The game was it, and it was out there and done, and people moved on. And any feedback that happened just informed the next title they made that they hoped you would buy.
Yeah.
But in this world, they do day one patches. We can do hot fixes. We can do weekly maintenance. We do all kinds of crazy shit. And none of it ever seems to get across to these morons. And I'm use that term with all the affection in the world, that this shit just isn't working. You know, you shouldn't have to have this fun turnaround to catch up to what the market finally wants. We've been telling you, and you actually got off to a good start with it when you launched Battlefield 6 in October. What's the deal? Why can't they see the writing on the wall, dude?
Well, I think Battlefield 6 kind of moved into a great time when everybody was just fed up with Call of Duty.
Yes.
Like they were tired of playing Warzone with the cheaters, or you're in some sweaty lobby with Johnny Tryhards and you just can't go and play casual. Like they have a mode called casual and you get sweaty people in there because they want to. And like, no, you should have go play regular Battlefield. I'm here trying to have fun and kill bots. Okay. I'm just trying to have some fun here. I don't need to sit there and worry about my slide to jump ratio and moving back and forth 900 times and do my jump no scope 360 shot.
Yeah, because it's not fucking Halo.
I'm like, I don't need to worry about that. And so everyone was fed up with Call of Duty. I was one of them. And Battlefield was that breath of fresh air. And it started off that way. Like it was like you had your classes, you could repair stuff. There was environmental damage, which that was the best thing Battlefield ever put into their stuff. It started with Bad Company. Yeah,
Bad Company 2 had it really good, and Battlefield 4 had it really good.
Yeah,
really good. And they had the not on Battlefield 4. Battlefield 4 had the Levolution, which was good. But Battlefield 3 had like you could wipe out every building in a map except for a couple of support beams in like any given structure, which was pretty good.
Like if I hear people below me, I should be able to take something out and smash the floor and shoot them, or shoot them through the floor and hope for spray and pray that I hit somebody.
Yep. You're right. They were on the right track for that. And it's like they launched and it's like they were like, we're good. We've taken the crown. I'm like, no, like COD dropped the crown. You were looking at it. It was on the floor, but like you didn't pick it up.
And then someone came in and gooped it, and it was called Outragers.
Yeah, put it in the prison pocket and ran for extract, dude. And here's the rip of that. Here's the absolute rip of that shit. Their player count is more or less unaffected after the initial drop that any new release banger game gets. Like they're not running 700,000 a day anymore, which is fine. They're running like 350,000. It's insane. And it's because these guys put together the roadmap. First of all, they delivered a great game.
Right off the bat, it worked day one.
Embark delivered a great game that worked day one with cross-platform applications that are working seamlessly as far as I can tell. Then they came out and put a roadmap out there and said, yep, this is the stuff we're going to do. And then they've hit those benchmarks, those deadlines so far as I've seen them.
Yep.
Every game needs some work. The game needs weapon tuning. They're going to rework their expedition thing going forward to make it a little bit more desirable to do. We got new enemy types coming in, new environmental hazards coming in. I think there's a new
stuff
map
you can make.
Right.
You're going to have
crafting stuff. Yep. Skill tree possible rework from what I was hearing. They know that everybody likes the red tree and they're going to switch it.
about the whole genre of a game for a service is that you can get stuff like this if you have a developmental team that knows their paces. Because one, yeah, you're not going to get everything day one. You're not going to get that silver platter because one, worry about scalability. Can they support everybody? Right. Then after that they have to start ordering servers. As soon as they start having money, they got to start ordering new servers, start building up. Then you have to have your primary developmental team working on this roadmap and what they're going to put in next to keep it interesting. Because yeah, at certain points it gets very redundant, especially with the low number of maps that they have. But they already have plans for new maps, new conditions, new areas completely. So they have the plan in. So I could give them some grace and wait for them to get it developed because the way they've been issuing it in slowly but surely, it's been on a time where it works. Like work it in
short drip. Right.
You don't test stuff in production. I am not your test person because you're not paying me for that. I paid you to play the game. Give me a game I could play, and that's exactly what they're doing.
Yeah, I think you're 100% right, especially with Embark's release schedule of things. And even if they do drip feed like the other guys do, at least they're doing it on a constant cadence that hasn't had delays yet and has provided meaningful change when stuff has come through. People really love that. Cold Snap was supposed to be an LTO attached to that mini battle pass or that event and then gone. They're bringing that back. I heard
you can play it now.
It's a regular thing.
Back right now.
Right. It's a regular map hazard now. And that makes sense because it's a good idea. Dude, Battlefield 6 did the same stupid shit on their seasonal pass for December. It's gone. It's not coming back. You know why? Nobody played it. Because there's a difference between an optional map hazard you can equip onto like any map you want as it comes up and their stupid limited time only mode that literally nobody plays because it's pointless. It didn't impact the gameplay meaningfully. Nobody did that in their game. You know, Embark's at a major advantage right now, even with Marathon coming out next month. And I know people think that Marathon's the haters of Arc Raiders are funny people to me. I don't get it. Like, you want other companies to fill the gap and fill the void of the COD failures and the Battlefield failures and for a while the Overwatch failures. And if Marvel Rivals falls off, and that's another group of people. Like, I love people that hate Marvel Rivals. I'm like, I don't know, every time I play it, I have fun. I don't know what the deal is. But like, I want Embark to succeed in being able to put out new stuff on their pass on that kind of cadence where it always is bringing me back. Because whatever it is about that game, and we'll see if Marathon can match that next month, it doesn't get redundant for me yet. And I don't think it gets redundant for a bunch of normal, casual, average players because that thrill, that risk of death that you as a PvP guy, like, you go in for that kind of stuff. So you know this game could cost you the loadout. So that's exciting regardless of if it's match 5 on Damn or if it's match 2,500 on Damn. Because you never know when those two Hornets and that fucking Wasp are going to roll up on you because you didn't see them.
I had 7 on me the other day.
7?
7. Like, they all just dropped around me. And I had to get to the other side of the map.
Throw the lure grenade and just go.
Because I had I only had one extract left. Like, I'm in the final 10 minutes. So I had like one extract left. I'm trying to get all the way across the map and like all these Hornets and Wasps are right behind me. I'm like, I can't fight my way out of this. Nope. I was out of my seeker grenades.
Yep. That's what I'm saying. There's enough pressure cooker elements to that game for the casual normie player like us to keep that exciting. It's the same, dude. Helldivers is like on year 3. They just released one of their biggest, I think they call them on War Bonds, is what they call battle passes on Helldivers. The one they just put out, I was just told, is like one of the highest selling ones they've had in 3 years. They've got like 10 of them. It's like, it's the highest one because people are just into the gameplay loop of dropping in with their boys, shooting bugs, shooting bots, and going home. There's like a certain thrill level to that, especially at the higher difficulties. There's some role play ability that's kind of funny where you're like, get on the chopper, go. Like, you can do all that stupid shit. You know, you can have fun with the game. Dude, when was the last time you had fun playing Warzone straight up? When was the last time you had fun playing that?
It's never fun because it's so stressful because everybody is just, for lack of a better word, dicks in that game.
Yeah, dude, it's just a miserable experience playing that game. Dude, I threw on Battlefield 6. I was actually going to give you a shout and see if you wanted to run some. I took, because it was like 7 o'clock at night on like a Thursday or a Friday. It was like last week. Dude, it took me like 6 minutes to find a game of Conquest, right? 6 minutes for
And you're probably full of bots in there. No players.
Bots! It had to fill with bots. There were like 18 real players in this game. And I'm like, okay, I mean, I guess I got to turn crossplay back on and get the PC guys in here. I did that. And it still took 6 minutes to find an effing game. And I don't live in the middle of nowhere. I live an hour outside the biggest city in my state. 5 million people in it. Like, where are the players for this game, dude? They're playing Arc Raiders. They're playing Mugenics. You know what I mean? They're playing other stuff now. They're waiting for Marathon to come out, which Marathon's going to be a wild one too. If you want the PvP extract thing, Marathon's by Bungie. It's going to be way more PvP. It's PvPvE, but they're already like the vibe of that game is more competitive. Like it's supposed to be more PvP.
I think we need a new term. If you have PvE and PvP, it should be PvEV, which is player versus everything.
Yeah, I agree. Yeah, why draw the distinction? Just be you versus the world. You know what I mean?
That's right.
I get that.
Detroit that's another the world always.
Well, seriously, that's another title coming out that's going to be in that $40 range, but it's got an open beta for 4 days, literally 24 hours before the game drops. That's their server slam. Like you're going to see the Arc Raiders will take a dip because people are going to go check that out, which is normal. You know what I mean? But because it's got, I don't know if you
back. People are going to come back. It's one of the come back too.
Yep, I'm gonna go check it out. But again, if you check out any like of the coverage of the game or just gameplay, it's got a very weird aesthetic to it. Like it's supposed to be very 80s retro thing because it's Bungie. It's based on the original Marathon game from like 1990. You know what I mean? So it's supposed to be very blocky and very MS-DOS looking. You know, in terms of some like the interface, some of the designs. It's still high def. It's still like a normal textured game. But it looks different. It doesn't look like Battlefield or COD or Halo or Apex or anything like that. Like it does look, it has its own visual cue. And a lot of people, even in the tests from last year, were like, this is the thing that came up a lot. People said, I'll probably watch people stream this for the competitive, but I won't play it. Not what you want to hear as the dev.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
And probably your number one complaint, especially from the younger generations, the graphics suck on this.
Right. I broke my chair. There we go. Stuck on the mat.
That might be a you problem because you might have to fit something that doesn't break your chair.
It wasn't a weight capacity kind of problem. It was more of a wheel stuck on the floor mat problem. I just want to be very clear about that.
Okay.
But anywho. Yeah, dude, we did some solid video game work there. Let's watch Mando and Grogu. Let's see what happens.
All right, let's get back to our trailers. Mando and Grogu.
The gaming thing needed to be said. Continue. All right, here we go. Finally, some effing footage. And the theme, I might add.
And the blocking.
And the classic theme.
Hey, never touch the buttons.
You can eat a little silver gear. Whoa. Why does he have the razor crest?
I can use some information.
I don't know.
For this price, I'll tell you whatever you want.
I'm looking for a hut.
Close
for the night. Thank you.
Gangsters.
We got some huts.
More criminals.
Long live the Empire.
Snowtroopers.
We'll take out every bad guy in your deck of cards.
That was pretty dope. That's like some Mando season 1 stuff right there. Okay.
This isn't about revenge.
Little rebel base.
It's about preventing another war.
Hey, you better goop that.
Strap in.
Four rusted gears on it.
Yeah, exactly.
I really want to know
at least a motor's in there.
Will suffer.
Oh,
Cad Bane?
Yeah.
All right, a little Cad Bane live action. I was Mr.
Before
Fantastic.
going into harm's way, check your armor. The kid will live centuries beyond me. I won't always be around to protect him.
What do you think the odds are we get other Star Wars character, like main character cameos?
Scared? You should be.
It's supposed to be in the time of after after Return.
Or do we fight?
We know a lot of those people are still alive.
Yep.
That's from dude from Rebels, right?
Yep, that's the dude from Rebels. Who's part of the Rangers.
Right.
What are you waiting for?
Oh, he has the self-driving stroller now.
That's the thing from the chessboard. Real life version of the thing from the OG chessboard. All right. Dude, all right. At least it's a trailer.
At least it's a trailer. It's not a Budweiser commercial.
Yeah. I don't like your takeaway, because I'm sure you watched that earlier when you downloaded it, right?
Actually, no, that was actually the first time. I didn't download
Okay,
it. The wife took care of that.
Talked over the whole damn thing. I was trying to listen, but I knew we had to talk over it to, avoid the claims.
Yeah.
But it didn't sound like there was a whole lot of plot given away in there. There were a lot of like effective one-liners that were in there.
Yeah, like I'm looking for a hut.
Scenes. Right.
I love the Iraq war line in there. We'll take all your players off your deck of cards.
I saw that. I heard that. That was good. See, there were a couple of worthwhile images at least. Now that's not going to sell me on your movie. Like I'm not rolling out of there and giving it a 95% because it had a great line like that. Or the two things in particular I like just visually. I said before we even ran the show, we were testing the trailer. The Y-wings coming down in front of the sunset is just a great look. Hearing the real theme, the OG theme song has been missing from every effing Star Wars thing we've watched in the last 3 years, and I hate its absence. It's good to hear it.
Now, I'm not sure Dave Filoni watches our show, but he should.
He does.
And I'm going to tell you right now, you have a cash grab opportunity right here. And listen good. This is what you do after this movie. You start a series. It's a 12 episode drop. And every you do it twice a year, 2 times a year, you drop 12 episodes and you call it Star Wars in between, or some other better title, probably way better.
That's a terrible title, but I see where you're going.
You talk about the New Republic and how it starts coming into power, how it comes and tries to undo all the Empire stuff. And then you have the remnant Empire still trying to run things and doing what do they call those hit and run type terrorist type acts,
guerrilla shit.
Yeah, guerrilla warfare for this. And this is how you could run this forever as you tried to fill it in. You could do cameos from the Mandalorian. You could do cameos from the Ahsoka girl.
I was like, they got cameos coming in from everybody.
Yeah, you'd have everything. And it doesn't have to center around Luke, Leia, and it could be anybody. You had a good idea with the Rangers, which pretty much would be a little bit of your front line, trying to bring some of the outer systems into the fold. But like you could have a political thriller with it as well, where it's like you're trying to get the new senators, rebuild the Galactic Senate. How are we going to structure this new government? Like you have so much opportunity there that's just wasted. You just jump 30 years into the future and like, now the Empire's coming back. Yeah. No, you have opportunity. You have money. You wait 3 years after this drops. You leave Star Wars alone. You craft, you write, you make sure you hammer out all your J's and your T's and make sure they're dotted. And then, only then, you start this series, and you will make so many Star Wars fans extremely happy.
I don't see how they could go any other way, honestly, because at this point, the fatigue is real. The apathy is probably more real. And the only thing that saves them, on top of, like you said, taking that break and literally committing in 3 to 5 years to like a 10-year hammered out plan, is better fiscal control. Like I've been told the budget for this movie is like $100 or $150 million less,
which is any other thing. Reasonable budget should be like 115. Then
I think I heard 150 is what I heard. All right, but just whatever the number reasonable. Is, saying it's $100 million plus less than the bloat of the other crap we've seen. Right. So even if this movie comes out and takes a bit of a bath, at least it didn't cost you guys $1 billion. But my concern there is that they take the wrong lesson away from that possible failure. And they say, see, we tried to do it on the cheap and it bombed. So, we got to go back to it. Failed because it looked like a big episode of TV on the big screen and people wanted more. They wanted more effects. I'm like, no. Again, you need like 2, 3, 4, 5 of these things that are all good in a row at that price point to not blow the bank on another $4.5 million deal. on one picture that just drives people off anyway. Like if you're gonna take the loss and protect your wallet. You know, that's what I would tell them to do. But I think you're dead on right. I think for kids our age, when we were kids, all of Star Wars is the big three plus Vader, right? But as we grew up with Star Wars and the books became accessible to us, the expanded universe, and then video game tech evolved so we could get TIE Academy, TIE Fighter, Jedi Starfighter, all the great Rogue Squadron games.
With the Jedi Academy, Jedi.
So, all of them, dude. Shadows of the Empire, so we can get Dash. We get later in life, and we get other games like Battlegrounds or whatever.
Rogue Squadron.
Rogue Squadron came later, right? All those games add to the lore in a meaningful way. So we know Star Wars doesn't have to be a Skywalker saga anymore. I think that's an opinion a lot of guys our age learn to leave behind. And I don't see how Star Wars survives only with those two characters, with Anakin and Luke. Like if you want to do the whole the Solo twins, if you want to do Jason and Jaina, go do that. You know what I mean? That's Skywalker or Jason, and that might be the play. It's rooted in characters you're already familiar with Han and Leia. Chewie would be there by default. The droids would be there by default. Uncle Luke would be popping in and out. You know what I mean? Doing training shit and going on Jedi missions with Mara Jade. Like there's ways you can keep it Skywalker or Jason, but do new shit. But I like what you said better. I think the bulk of everything they should do should just be set in that time period after the second Death Star gets exploded and before the stupid ass, what was it called? The First Order shows up.
The First Order shows up.
All of your stuff you're talking about should build towards that. It should be building toward a new, potentially religious fanatic sect of things left over from the Empire, headed by Snoke. I don't care, reuse Snoke. He was a good idea until they ruined it.
Yeah, you know? Snoke was a great idea
until they ruined him.
How much did you talk about who Snoke really is? And like everyone was examining every star on his head.
Yep,
the way his eyes looked,
dude. The fact that he was a holographic projection the size of Godzilla was a talking point by itself. Because you're like, wait a minute, like. Is he that big? Is that for effect? Is that to make him imposing to his subordinates? Like, what is this thing? Why is he all powerful? We know nothing about. Do we still know effing nothing about him? Because I won't count comic books at this point that came out after the movie came out, because that's just you trying to fill in the blanks after you screwed up and didn't give me enough in the first place. You don't get to rewrite shit after the fact. I hate that. But Snoke was a great talking, but even some of the other crap that I know annoys the both of us from Force Awakens that they never went back for. How does Maz Kanata have Luke's lightsaber? That's a story for another time. Go tell me that story. Go tell me Sebastian Stan in that story how the lightsaber passed to her, please. You know, like there's ways to do these things, and they insist on again, to tie it back to the video games. We've been saying the same shit over and over online for years now. TLJ was 2018, dude. 2018. Almost 10 years. The debate's over. Like, we won that part of the culture war with them of making the point that it is in decline, and we can see it now. The numbers all bear it out. They're taking a bath every new thing they do. Like, we won, but we lost. We lost everything to win. You know, like we lost something we love to have them
won, but
destroy
what did it cost us?
Yeah, Pyrrhic. It's a Pyrrhic victory. A victory too great of a cost. You know, it's pointless now to even entertain the notion that the TLJ was like a high point of the franchise and that it took creative risks and that it didn't do any. Not only that it didn't do more harm than good, that it didn't do any harm at all. There's still people that think that. Like, no, Broom Boy wasn't going to save this franchise. The franchise didn't need saving until that movie showed up.
Yeah.
You know, that's it. Like that's the God's honest truth of that.
And I have no problem with people taking creative risk or story risk. That's not the issue. It's the execution of this. Like, because the movie had so many different issues that brought it down. Like, I could understand if Luke went, instead of him hiding out on a planet drinking purple milk straight from the teat,
Luke's hitting milk.
Why didn't he go on a pilgrimage to find a deeper meaning to the Force?
Show us that journey. Do Force appearances from Obi-Wan and Yoda and Qui-Gon and fucking everybody else. That would have been
The
brilliant.
secret
Brilliant.
text.
Good.
Real
Page
page
turners, they were not.
turner.
Yeah, did I got you? I knew you were going with that. He's like, when was the last time you read them? I don't know. Fucking, they were in the drawer. Like, it's like a fucking Monty Python Spaceballs gift gag or something there.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It was just
Star
bad.
Wars the book.
He's just like, oh, they're in the drawer. Closes the drawer. Like, no, I can't do that. But it ties. I can't help but always think of that. Once that dude in the video said it about how they have how creators have real-time access to public sentiment and feedback, I'll never forget having heard those words out loud. Where I'm like, dude, if you got your book published tomorrow, like the manuscript that you're working on, if it got published tomorrow, big time, and it ended up on a number one list at like Amazon, and it was number one at like Barnes and Noble, New York, like if it got all the coverage in the world you ever needed, right? And then within that, making it to those lists, the public sentiment was like 60%. Dude, I don't know what this is about. I don't know who this is for. This isn't what I was expecting based on his previous work. Like, you've got a triple digit IQ. Wouldn't you take at least a percentage of that criticism to heart and be like, oh, maybe I did this? You know?
Oh yeah, definitely. You don't read. That's the problem. You don't read your own headlines, but don't take your criticism too much to heart, or take it emotionally.
But you can't take it personally unless literally somebody's like, you got to go KYS because your book was terrible. Like, yeah, dude, you don't pay that guy any attention. But again, if somebody gave you a broken down critical review of the plot was X, there was this plot hole here, this character design is a bit derivative, like whatever the specific criticisms are, like you have to be able to evaluate those kind of remarks with some sense of objectivity. Otherwise, you learn nothing and you don't grow as the creator, as the author.
Yeah, and then you're going to lose your
whatever.
Audience as everything will be exactly the same.
Exactly. So that's my point. So by the time you get around to writing your second book in that planned series of 10 books, if you haven't course corrected those things, which you can now do because you have access to all that information in real time now, you know what the feedback is. You know that the trending thing was Kingsley's book was bad because, like, we know why. So you get to sit there and say, you're either wrong, you're right, or I can see where you think that. I'll take it into consideration. You should always fall on that. You should always fall on that middle point. And I feel like these jackwads at High Guard don't get that. The lazy guys over at Dice, EA Dice for Battlefield don't get that. We know the shit we watch. None of those writers' rooms get that at all. Dude, the clowns that wrote She-Hulk still think we were wrong. Still. They still think it's our fault. I'm like, no, it wasn't. Because a bunch of dudes bought She-Hulk for 30 years before the show came out. Not my fault.
Yep. So the people over at DICE, I mean, they are part of EA, and EA has a record of not listening to fans and not correcting mistakes. Just look at the Madden franchise and how bad that fell off around 2016, and it never really rebounded.
Because it became Madden of Duty.
Yeah.
You know, anything that has an annual installment, players need to just start skipping every other or every third one just to not get into it. You really don't have to. You know, just because you watch live football every year doesn't mean you need Madden.
You're not getting any new, like, they're not improving the graphics or the gameplay. All they're doing is changing the roster.
And you can do that. And you can do that on your own for your favorite team. You know what I mean? If you lost like the Dolphins just lost what's his face the other day, I heard.
Tyreek Hill. They released them.
Fine, fantastic. So when I get Madden 26 this year or 27 or whatever, like, I'll just make that change on my own going forward. I don't need your help anymore. I need to buy the game next year to do that.
You don't need to, because you can actually go online and download the new roster, upload it to your game, and it
get out
rosters. Yeah,
that's the thing, dude. Then why am I buying a new game if there's no meaningful new features? The graphics can't improve system year to console year to console year. So what's the point? What is the point? Unless they were god awful one year.
The only one that I could actually see is when they changed the rules, like the new kickoff, the dynamic kickoff rule.
Sure. But do I need a new $90 game? Do I need a new $90 collector's edition game because you changed the kickoff rule when you know within the options they're probably going to have classic rules or current? You know what I mean? Like that could just be part of the game. They'll never do that, but it should be part of the game. You know, like, why am I buying a Call of Duty Black Ops 2 years in a row that's systemically almost 95% shared DNA? You know, why? I'm not. And that's why, dude, I did not buy Black Ops 7 this year. I probably will not buy Modern Warfare 4 this October. Like, I'm going to take a couple of years off unless I see revolutionary changes that
gameplay.
To gameplay that don't also sacrifice what works. Like I've always said with respects to COD, their control layout is perfect. How they have everything mapped. Like that's why it's set the standard for like every other FPS game that's come out since the original Modern Warfare. Like everybody knows X is reload now. You know what I mean? On control. It's just how it is.
Well, I mean, it almost straight up copied Halo.
Yeah.
Because Halo has almost the exact same.
Yeah. For sure. But I feel like Call of Duty did things that no other shooter had done with the introduction of the perk system, with the introduction of kill streaks. Like those are the kind of revolutionary changes I'm looking for. But I also don't want them to abandon structurally everything that's worked for them on the way in. Like they don't have to throw out kill streaks to change Call of Duty in a way that I want. It just can't be a rehash of the boots on the ground of 60 or 70% overlapping maps now. Something has to change. I don't know specifically what it is, but I know that that's the feedback they get year after year. But because it's all about the microtransaction dollar now, as long as these idiots are buying the Beavis skin and the Nicki Minaj skin and the fucking American Dad Roger in a power loader suit, whatever the fuck that was, skin. We're both.
See, the thing is, we used to joke that Warzone was for the real fighters and that stuff was over in Fortnite.
Yeah, no.
And now they just they took the Fortnite route, and now it just isn't fun. It's just stupid. Oh, I got killed by a Ninja Turtle.
Oh, dude, God, that was one of the worst ones. Like that, it's. I know that, and people like to rag on the whole like the immersion breaking thing, and I'm like, dude, if this doesn't break your immersion, it's because you lack the attention span to achieve an immersed state within fiction that you're trying to enjoy. You know what I mean? Like I can settle into a game, a book, or a movie and be part of what's going on. And then if I see like, you know, Estelle from like the Golden Girls roll through, I'll know I'm like, what is going on here? Like that should not be a thing that I'm looking at right now.
No. And then going back to Arc Raiders and what it does well that COD doesn't is the anti-cheat. Their anti-cheat and how they handle cheaters is amazing compared to COD, where it's like we've been complaining about their anti-cheat for years and they haven't done anything about it. Yeah. And then all they do is, this IP address can't log on anymore. I can make 700 emails in the matter of 2 minutes.
Right. The more frustrating part of the COD anti-cheat thing, I think, is that they actually tried to sell the last 2 games on the strength of the Ricochet anti-cheat system. Like that's not the flex you guys think it is for me. You know what I'm saying? Like it's not. Like I know that if I flip crossplay on, I'm gonna get hosed. So I don't. You know what I mean? And like you said, I think people were starting to point out that Embark was running into problems with cheaters, which makes sense on a PC game. They're gonna find a way to get in sooner or later, but it's all, like you said, it's in the response. And if they're already handing out like bans rapidly and repeatedly for those kind of things, including hardware bans,
ban people, which is the way they should, is a Mac ban.
Right.
If I ban your Mac, you will never be on my game again.
Right. You need a new computer, right?
Yeah. Or a new graphic or a new network card.
That's
which most of those you don't have separate anymore. They're part of your motherboard.
Right. That's what I mean. It's an expensive way to get to get around that ban. You know what I mean? And most
there are ways to spoof your MAC address.
Yeah, but again, most people don't know that. And most people probably aren't capable of and implementing that.
There's a risk element to it where you can actually mess it up and then your network card doesn't work inside your motherboard anymore.
Right. Which gets you back to like it's a square one, and it's an expensive fix at that point because you wanted to fuck around and find out. You know, but that's again, that's a kudos situation to Embark for recognizing, hey, we had a pretty good launch. People weren't really complaining about this for like November, December, but right near the end of January, I started hearing some grumblings. I saw some Reddit threads kind of flare up, and people like, "Oh, here we go. They're here now. They're on. Their cheaters are onto the new thing." And then I start seeing updates, and people are like, "Oh, got killed by a cheater. Reported." And get this, Embark gave me back the stuff I lost because they can go back into the game record and see, "Oh, Kingsley lost a purple backpack, not a, you know what I mean, like this augment, to this gun, to this thing. These were the 10 things he had looted, and this was in his prison purse. Give it all back."
Yeah.
Fucking when does COD do anything like that?
And they're starting to ban not just ban characters, but fine them as well.
Right.
Like if they had a duplication exploit
I
here
saw that.
recently where
I
you
saw
had
that.
infinite. If it's in your throwing thing, it was infinite.
Yeah.
And like some people did stupid stuff, like they put ducks in there and they're throwing ducks at you. That doesn't hurt anybody. But some people were putting trigger grenades in there and had unlimited trigger grenades.
Mortaring bitches.
Yeah.
Right.
And that's what ruined the experience. Stuff like that. And then
That's what I
all
mean.
those people, depending on how they did it, either they could get a warning and a fine, which they'll take their in-game money away from them.
Oh, that's not a bad little play.
And it builds up to a full ban, Mac ban from the game completely.
Dude, as it should, because I think that's like these guys are trying to protect their paying customers. People do enjoy their battle passes. People do buy into the Raider decks. Like people are buying into these things when they come out on like in the stores and things like that. They don't want people to take off because they got, especially if 95% of people that play Arc Raiders are guys like us, they can't just cater to the other 5% competitive players that win 1v5 shootouts. And even that's really difficult for those guys. I watch these guys on Twitch. A lot of people aren't walking away from 2-on-1, 3-on-1s the same way they could run solos versus quads in Warzone. The firing mechanics don't work that way in this game.
But the other thing that you have that works real well is the aggressive level match.
Aggression based match, ABMM. Yep.
Yep.
I love that. I think
that's amazing because I don't really shoot anybody first unless they really just make me upset. So I don't shoot people first. So I'm in like when I need to go goop, I can go goop in
Care Bear
peace.
lobbies. Yep. He's got, dude, for real. But the best part is it exists on like this constant pendulum where if you get your blood up for a couple rounds and you want to just go hose people down with bullets, you can do that. And then you suffer the consequences for a few rounds as it loads you into aggressive rounds. But after you take a few deaths of you getting your ass handed to you, it lowers back down. You're back in Care Bear lobbies. Right.
And like I know the formula on how to get my lobby back down if I do want to shoot someone first. I mean, I did trap someone the other day. It was pretty fun. I killed 2 of the snitches and grabbed the snitch scanner out of them. Yep. And then they hit the button for the extract. So I threw both of those out, which called in 6 hornets and stuff.
Yeah, that's just kind of funny. I mean, that's how it is. That's not being a camping ass bitch at the extract or like rigging the extract with like 8 trigger grenades.
No, I just walked up there and heard them hit it, and I ran up and just like, let's see what this does.
Like shit happens. That's kind of funny, but like I have that same. Like I can enjoy games doing like I did one guy like where I got him at the extract like that, and then I threw on like the Jigsaw voice and I was like, "Hello, Raider, I want to play a game." And like I was like, if you can reach the extract button, you can live. Make your choice. Like I did that whole spiel. It was kind of funny. Right?
Yeah, and that's the thing with the P versus P. A lot of them will sit there and have fun with you.
Right. Yeah, like I don't need to get into the whole like, it's PvP, so now you gotta kill me, and then you gotta talk about my mom for 10 minutes or drop a racial slur. Nobody needs that shit. Like have your PvP fun, know it's part of the game, and then move on. You just can't be intentionally, and PvP, by the way, you cannot consider that intentionally ruining the game for somebody else. It's built into the game. You gotta log in and know it can happen at any time, regardless of where on the ABMM scale you are. It's just it's an occupational hazard.
Ruin the game. I'm tired of we need a PvE only lobby.
And listen, I think they do. And I've been a big fan of that because move those players over so they can have exactly the game they want. The rest of us can be where we want. They can be. It's not going to ruin player count anyway. It's a soft way to play the game if there's no danger, but some people just want that. And if they paid for the experience, let them have it. But as long as you're not ruining the game intentionally for anybody else, and this is like I have this problem, and I know you don't play hero shooters. You're like, I turned it on, I watched for 10 seconds, I uninstalled. I'm like, I'm out.
Yeah,
can't do it.
I just don't. I don't get hero shooters, and like there's
to
so many different things that you can do, and if you don't set your keyboard up right, you're just kind of lost.
There's a lot going on, but there's a couple of things you can do in those kind of games where, like, when I queue into a match on Marvel Rivals, even quick play, right? If it says match found, any attempt to leave after that is considered leaving early, and you get stuck with the whole, like, you get the warning. And if you do it twice, like, you get a 10-minute ban from the game. It's like if you accidentally click like find game and they're like, oh shit, my phone's ringing. Like if you can't get on that button to cancel, and it usually finds a match in 2 seconds, you're in for the game. Like you're just in. So people screw with you when they queue in, they can't get the character they want. So they pick somebody else and they just don't leave the spawn. So now your whole game is 6v5 because you don't get because you can just move around a little so you don't get kicked for an activity, right? So you're playing 6v5 because you got to Spider-Man before I did. So there's a couple of douchey things you can do. And to Marvel's not credit, they haven't addressed issues like that. And they don't seem to think that that's a big enough deal. Whereas Embark, like literally they're like, oh, dude, you fought the matriarch and you got fucking griefed in the back by a hacker. Here's all your shit back. Here's your 8 cores. Like it seems like they're interested in keeping you as the paying customer happy.
Yeah. One of the things, there's going to be people who ruin everything. Like you have those moments where it's supposed to be like PvE, you're taking down the matriarch, you're taking down the queen. So you bring in your big guns, and then you have someone who tries to kill you in the back after it's done. But I've seen more and more lobbies like gang up on that person.
Texas Justice. As it should be. Dude, if there's 6 of you guys shooting at a matriarch, dude, fucking everybody looting that one thing and drop some other shit. That way everybody gets involved. And if you see some jackass running to a leg before the thing is like actually down, shoot that guy. You can shoot that guy. It's okay. The guy trying to make away with your hard-earned work, like he can get got. That's fine with me.
And as I've said, I am trash at all games. I'd never say I'm good. Good is and me in a game have never been used in the same sentence before. But I found my way of how I could go and go hunt leapers by myself and not cost me a lot of money when I do it. What I do is I build that backpack that has the 2 pooper pockets. And I put my my wolf packs in those. So if I die, I still have both my wolf packs.
Yeah, that's the play. That's absolutely the play. Absolutely that is the play. It's just funny how different companies seem to get the memo at different times about how to keep people happy. As Marvel Rivals is not, it's a free-to-play game. There is a lot of crap in that game to spend real money on in terms of the alt costumes and the stickers and the fucking emojis and all the shit.
That's the other thing that I like about Arc Raiders is that the developers come out and said that they will not buy these, or they will not be putting in skins that don't make sense to the look and feel of the game.
Oh, because they already have an interesting design aesthetic that's all their own, with kind of like that retro, weird Mad Max kind of dystopian cobbled together suits of shit. Like that's their vibe. So no, imagine if you rolled up in there and they just had like a random Decepticon skin. You'd be like, what on earth is going on?
Why are there Ninja Turtles in post-apocalyptic Italy?
Right. Yeah, I'd be like, no, can't do it. But if they, and I've already done this, I've paid real money for a couple of the outfits in that game. Like there was like a deep sea diving one that had like the cool sea mine attachment for like a different backpack. I bought those 2 things. I thought they looked good. You know what I mean? And it was a free to play game anyway. So I gave them the $10 or the $20 or whatever.
And that's the thing about Arc Raiders 2 is that you don't have a pay to win.
Right. There's nothing pay to win about it.
Make me customize my character. And the thing is, they give you plenty of ways to earn in-game real cash to buy this stuff. On top of the blue butts, on top of your in-game coin, they have ways for you to earn the gold coin, which is equivalent to real money.
Dude, they gave away. Dude, when was the last time you saw this? They gave away real money in the form of the in-game store credits as a holiday gift. When have you ever seen a game do that? They gave away like $10. It was like $10 in credits per player. That's wild. I was shocked. I thought it was a trap. Like if sometimes like when Ubisoft had that massive glitch on Rainbow Six Siege, they got hacked and like people were given like 16 million Ubi credits a piece. Like they had to put out a press that was like, if you spend this money, we'll ban you. Like, what do you want me to do? Like, what if I didn't get that email and I just logged in? I was like, oh shit, I don't know, I gotta fucking buy a free XP boost. I don't know. You gonna ban me for a $4 XP boost? I mean, okay, your game's trash now anyway. But yeah, I like the cut of Embark's jib right now for this particular game, and I hope 26. I hope they, imagine if they maintain 300,000 players for like the next 6 months. Imagine that. Like, is that not the biggest modern W video game of all time at that point?
Especially like they have a good roadmap for this year. So
yeah.
I believe that they can make it. If they fall, it will be very little, but I can also see them picking up steam, especially when they start introducing the new maps that they're talking about.
Let me ask you, so maps are kind of their jam. They're going to add new enemies in and a couple of new hazards in throughout the roadmap. We've seen that.
Mm-hmm.
What do you think the possibility is that Embark throws down other modes? Like, do you think there's room in this game for a 5v5 deathmatch? Like, are there domination? Are those kind of COD battle modes? Do they have a place in Arc Raiders, or do you think that's they're not?
I don't see it in Arc Raiders. Now, if they do what they talked about with Speranza, where they make it a walk around area, like you go into Speranza and you can walk around in a hub, maybe they have an arena you could go to and you play PvP. Like PvP where you don't lose anything.
Huh. I'd be down for that, because that'll give you some quick access to practice your shooting that doesn't have all the risks.
Yeah, and like you build it in tournament mode, so you get 6 teams of 3 versus 3, and then you tournament them out. The winner gets like credits and maybe a blueprint or something at the end, like a box that just has random stuff in it.
Yeah, I'd be down for that. That's a pretty good idea. So I'm always wondering about those kind of things, like when you've had a massive amount of success, like, do you have an incentive to try to branch out, or do you think that just encourages your core player to show up? Like, if you start doing deathmatch, you bring in the COD kiddies, you know?
That's not what this game is going for. I think what they're trying to do over their season and their roadmap, which I think it's a 4-year roadmap complete that they haven't released all of it, is that they're going to develop the story where you actually end up in space fighting the people sending the art down on you.
Oh, dude, I hadn't heard that. That's interesting.
This is my theory, just because.
I think you said you read that. Okay, yeah.
No, I didn't read that anywhere. This is my theory because I was looking into the lore of Arc Raiders and like the back history and like if you know the story and everything.
I've read all that in-game stuff. It's really interesting.
Yeah, the people escape and they believe that the art are there to either punish the people or there was supposed to be something else on Earth that they were supposed to be destroying. From what I could understand. So I believe the art is coming from the humans that escaped, because I mean you have the spaceport, people got off Dodge. So
I thought they bailed because I thought they built the spaceport after the first wave of Arc came. I thought it was an escape plan from Arc. I don't think it's humans. I don't think it's us humans sending them. Maybe it's future humans.
I believe the Arc came after humans left the Earth.
Oh, see, I read it the other, or at least I remember it that way anyway. I thought because there's been multiple waves. Like the game takes place after the second wave or the third wave or whatever it is.
Yeah, the Arc is not Skynet. That's why the probes keep coming down to like scan everything.
Yeah,
and it comes
from
space.
I remember that part. But I think again they sound like they've got a great sci-fi story that they've built in, that they're not blowing on a 6-hour campaign that's tacked on after they've created this amazing multiplayer experience. Dude, King, hold on. CR Hockey says Kingsley has like 100. Yeah, but if you have 100 Bobcats and you can't shoot them straight, though, I mean, he's got 3.
I have 3 Bobcats and I can't shoot them straight. So come and get them, everybody. Come and get them.
I got 0 cats.
I'd
love to see more of that story. What were you saying?
I needed some more blueprints. That's what I'm dying for. Yeah. I'm trying to learn these runs, like playing with my brother. He has these runs. He goes through these maps that he has memorized.
I had a good one for Buried City that was really good for a while, but then I think it was an actual good run that like ended up on YouTube by like other people and like creators that like knew that was a good run. So now I can't do it. Oh, we got some Bobcat Dono going on. Thank you. Not Kingsley for me. I appreciate it. You just drop them off. Yeah, drop them off the box. I might get into some Arc Raiders at some point again. We'll see. I've been away for a while.
Yeah, but I mean, he has this great, like on every map. Like he knows how to run and find blueprints on every map. It's like anytime I play with him in Stella Montes, it's like, oh, I got this blueprint. I'm like right next to him, and I'm like, why am I just getting like
same
rubber in metal parts?
I found a blanket. I found a blanket.
I found a blanket. Oh, I just found myself a torrent blueprint.
Dude, he gets lost. Dude, listen, in his defense, Stella's no joke. Stella, you can get lost in. It's weird, dude. For the first week that map was out, the only way I could get down to the extract was going to that top level and falling down on top of the giant arc that was waiting at the bottom. That's the only way to get. I have no idea where those stairs are. No idea.
You can ask him. I fall a lot and hurt myself a lot.
I have no idea where those stairs are. I'm like, oh, there's a bastion down there. Fuck him. I'm gonna drop on him in combat, roll into the shadows like Batman, and I'll get down to the lower stairs that way. I'm convinced there's no actual stairs to get down to that. You know,
I want to try, since I do fall a lot, try to land on top of them with a deadline.
Yeah, that'd be dope. I mean, it could. That's what you do. You throw the lure grenade down first, get him to come close to the edge, and then you gotta hit him with the old free fall.
Yeah,
and then drop a mine on him. That could work. But I think I'll get into some. I'm into some Marvel Rivals lately. I'm getting into some Overwatch again. They do Overwatch. You know, talk about expanding shit. They just dropped like 5 new characters at once because this is what happened. We talk about competition breeding better games. Like Arc is the competition that hypothetically should have elevated COD and Battlefield. Overwatch was the hero jam for like 10 years. Marvel Rivals comes along, siphons off a core chunk of their business, Dunder Mifflin, Michael Scott Paper Company style. And now all of a sudden Overwatch has 5 new characters, a new mode. They redid their rank system because competition showed up and smacked them around a little bit.
And that's what makes competition and capitalism great.
Dude, exactly. Hey, dude, you ain't wrong. You ain't wrong. So now we got 2 of these guys can hopefully go head to head. Marvel and Overwatch. COD and Battlefield need to get their shit together before they just get left behind. Dude, this new Battlefield update had an update to Red Sec. You think anybody's playing that? Nope.
I was playing Red Sec.
Dude, because they haven't added solos, dude. I'd play some Red Sec if there was solos. I just want to run around and see what the game's about. I don't want to drop in with someone else. I don't want to screw somebody else's gameplay dropping in on a duo I don't want to be a part of. You know, dude, they've had it 6 months to drop Red Sec solos. Why? Where is it? Nope. We're working on it.
I mean, going back to Arc Raiders, they made the solo versus teams mode that they have now.
I heard about that, but who on their right mind is playing that?
You get like 10 times experience, even if you die.
So what's the whole point to run through a 25-minute raid, like open boxes, but not try to get out and just survive as long as you can to get like modified XP?
I know a lot of people that play it. I was reading threads is like they go in and they just, kind of do their own thing off in the battle, let the teams kill each other and just extract.
Huh. Like I said, CR Hockey says he dies solo normally. I mean,
I die solo normally. I can extract on solo.
Yeah.
I just die when I play with you.
What's that?
I just die when I play with you.
Shit happens.
CR Hockey there.
Listen, shit happens. I feel like exactly like what you said earlier, man. Like I be having the best round of my life, win a bunch of PvP battles, right? Feel good about myself. And then some fucking hornet just comes around the fucking corner. It's like, oh no, you can't hit my rear thruster. You're dead. Zip. Zip. And I'm like, the fuck just happened? Like I just absolutely went John Wick on like 4 dudes in this close quarter battle I can't see in, and the wasp shows up and doesn't die.
Like I was there with the wasp, and I just destroyed 2 hornets, and the wasp comes, and I go running into a building, go around a corner, and hide by this other thing so I can like recharge my shield, and then the hornet just shows up and just looks at me. I'm like, well, that's
a wrap. Going to Walmart. I've had that experience. That's the other great thing that we didn't even mention with Embark is that they've changed how the arc actually work. That they've updated their combat maneuverability, their pathing, and things like that. So now they're doing unexpected shit. I remember the first time I watched a hornet follow me through a window. I'm like, what just happened here? This is supposed to be like a literal safe move to do, is to run inside a building. No, it's like
the popper bombs. The popper bombs. Those guys, they have a whole new mind of their own. Dude, I see one going off walls trying to get the
menaces, right? I'm like, no, like I'm almost more terrified now of those jackasses inside than I am of Rocketeers in open ground. Like, all right, do the Rocketeer, I know it's whatever, I can do whatever I want and get out of there, hopefully, right? No. Popper likes to come around, cue its nonsense, and then fucking explode behind me in the dark, from like the fucking ceiling. I'm like, what just happened? One of them went off a slanted table like a jump and dirt biked into my face the other day. I was like, that's it, I'm done. I'm done for the day. I'm out. Going to play Rivals. But they keep changing that action.
Yeah. Speaking of being out, we went out this week. We saw some films.
We did see some films, dude. You want to talk about yours first, real quick, and then I'll do mine.
Sure, I talked about mine.
Yeah.
So this past weekend, me and the wife, we decided that it was time to go see a movie. So we went out and we saw Mercy before it went out of theaters. Now, if you don't know what Mercy is, it's the Chris Pratt movie where he's going up against an AI and he was charged with murdering of his wife. That you know all that in the trailer. Yeah. So my quick non-spoiler review of this is that at first glance you think it might be kind of boring, and what it turned out to be was a screen life movie, live action. It's a live action screen life movie. And by what I mean by live action is that there are parts that are away from the screen action part. Like you go into memories and see memories. You go into there's a showdown at the end that happens. If you watch enough of the trailers, you know that it's building up to a big climax.
Yeah, that's not, like you said, that's not spoilerific. That's all there. Like
the majority of it is Chris Pratt, and I do not know her name, but the girl playing the AI.
Yeah, I can't remember her name either. The blonde girl.
Yeah, she was in.
She from Handmaid's Tale. Isn't that her?
I don't know if she was a Handmaid's Tale. I know she was in The Greatest Showman.
Oh, okay. Yeah, she's the AI avatar judge program.
Yeah. Right? And it's a lot of him trying to prove his innocence. And of course you have it goes around Rebecca
Burst. I think that is, okay. I think she was from Handmaid's Tale. The name sounds familiar.
So with that, I think it tried to tackle the issue of AI. And I think it portrayed AI perfectly how it would act in this type of situation where it deals only with the facts. It has no empathy. It has no feelings, as AI doesn't. It's a machine. And it gets to where he starts talking about human type of reactions, hunches, my gut feeling and stuff like that, which it doesn't understand. And then it tries to learn, and AI does learn. You know this with ChatGPT, that it learns certain stuff and build itself out.
Right.
So it's going with that. Do you trust AI all the way through when it only deals with facts without looking at the bigger picture? There's a great line in it. It goes, facts are black and white. The truth is somewhere in between.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that pretty much sums up the whole movie. It's I thought it was a good movie. I enjoyed it. I would recommend watch it. It should be coming to streaming soon, so you won't have to worry about going to the theater to see it. But I would definitely recommend seeing it once it hits the streaming service of your choosing.
I'm glad you enjoyed that, because that definitely was one that was on both of our 2026 hype lists. I missed that one up here, so I'm sad that it's out of theaters. I think it's already out of theaters up here. Because I think we both were seeing that it did not do well, like commercially, like it was kind of a flop.
Mm-hmm.
I had asked you the other day jokingly if it was, before you told me you liked it, I said, is it better or worse than Ice Cube's War of the Worlds, which was also like a screen life thing where like most of it is him just getting data readouts and like internet browser YouTube videos that somehow still work when the entire world network is down because of the alien invasion, but somehow it still works. And I haven't been more bored in my life watching that, because it just was not, the story itself is just not meant to be presented that way. But this guy doing the investigation and having access to CCTVs and all this other stuff that he could access to prove himself, plus his back and forth with the AI, that must have been at least kind of interesting on a sci-fi level.
Yeah, and it also gives a good explanation of how he has all of that access. A lot of people were comparing it to Minority Report before it came out, and I don't think it has anything to do with Minority Report. It's pretty much removing the human element out of our justice system.
Mm-hmm. I think people were just the Minority Report comparison. I think you'll lose me after saying that it looks like it, and that's it. But like the way the law works, the technology that was in play, like the two completely different things.
Yeah,
one's precog, the other is just putting all the information at your fingertips to build a defense. You know what I mean? Like that's pretty much the difference there. Yeah, no, I'll be checking that one out. And if it's, I think what's the usual turnaround for like movies that don't do well is usually like a month.
Yeah, months to like about 6 weeks,
something like that. Like 45 days. I was saying like 45 days. I'll check that out. I'll get back to you with a wolf review. See how that goes. I randomly saw Dracula for some reason. I don't know why. I picked Dracula that day. Mercy was on the table. I think there was something else that was on the table that day too. Oh, dude, it was this other movie. Now, just to mention it real quick, because it was only out a short period. It was called Gale, the Yellow Brick Road. It's a horror take on like a return, which not that Return to Oz wasn't a horror movie for kids, basically.
That was straight nightmare fuel.
Nightmare fuel is what we've said every time we talk about it. But I walked into the theater going to see Dracula, and like I saw this Gale Yellow Brick Road thing. I pulled up the description. It's all, it's Dorothy's granddaughter and her that go back to Oz years later, and everything's broken. Everything's horrible. But it had one night airtime. It was like 7 p.m. So like I couldn't see it. I think it's already gone. So now I got to wait till it's on, premium video on demand, because it probably won't be on like regular subscription streaming like anytime soon. But I'm like, dude, those are the kind of movies I want to go see more often than seeing stuff that I'm probably not going to like because it is studio crap. Like this was like the 10th live action adaptation of Dracula. I like, dude, if I had to give it a number, it's a straight 5. I would tell you personally to go see it on the strength of cinematography. There are some sweeping landscapes and some setups and things that I think you'd enjoy. The drama walks right up to the line of melodramatic in certain places near the beginning and near the end. You all know the story of Dracula. This is that. It's super comparable to Bram Stoker's Dracula. A lot of the beats run the same. I still say Bram Stoker's Dracula from the 90s with Keanu Reeves and Commissioner Gordon. What's his name? Help me.
Gary Owen.
Gary Oldman. Gary Oldman,
yeah,
is the superior film, but this was not bad. Nothing felt phoned in. Some of the romantic angles, like I said, they did hit a little bit of melodramatic, but they did spend their right amount of time up front connecting Vlad with the wife that he was going to lose before he renounced the church and became what he becomes. And then the whole movie is him questing to find her through the ages. It gets a little weird in the middle.
So that does meet the review that I saw about it, because what I did read is that is from the movie take of Dracula, and it's not actually in Bram Stoker's Dracula, the book, with him having a wife and everything like that.
Mm-hmm. That's the added on romantic take they tried to slap in there. The violence level is low. I was kind of shocked at that. I figured being a modern movie that I'm pretty sure got the R rating. I'd have to go back and double check. I was expecting more blood and guts up front. The war between Vlad's army and the invading Arabs at the beginning was largely shot in the distance with bloodless sword strikes and impalings, things like that. There's a couple of neck bites throughout the way. That there's no arterial ridiculousness. The final battle, when the French police somehow acquire military technology and somehow get from Paris to where his castle is in Transylvania in like an hour. ChatGPT said that would be like a 24-hour drive. I don't get how they got there on horseback with wagons in 10 minutes, but they did, without hinting there was travel time. It got a little silly to the end there. Your boy Christoph Waltz is in it. Played a pretty good role, but not great. It wasn't a whole lot cooked. He's himself. He's just a charming guy to watch do his thing. The Harker character, Jonathan Harker, Vlad's wife's modern husband, is kind of a boob. Like he's kind of doofy. So there's not really a whole lot of like hero shit to get into. I don't know. I think I went because we had just watched Frankenstein and reviewed, and that was a banger. And I went, oh, dude, maybe all the Universal monster movies are going to come back with this cutting edge new look by visionary director Kingsley. Like maybe it was going to be one of those kind of things. It's like a 5, dude. When it's on Netflix next month, I'd tell you to watch it just so you could see some interesting craft level stuff. But the story's largely forgettable. There's a couple of emotional beats. Like there's that. It's not even a spoiler, but it's when the wife, because she's a reincarnated pure soul kind of thing, finally remembers who she is and who he is. It does get a little lumpy in the throat. Like they earned that moment. But beyond that, there's not a whole lot to really grab onto in the film. But I'd give it a 5 for the effort anyway. It's not terrible, just not that great.
Yeah. So it would be the Ottomans If they say historically correct,
Yes,
or the Ottomans.
I knew I had that wrong. I knew I had the area right, but the label wrong.
Yeah, the Byzantine Empire.
Yeah, like I knew I had the area right. Got the nationality or the ethnicity wrong. But yeah, that's about it on Dracula there. I don't remember if I saw any good previews. I meant to ask you if you saw any good ones. I think I texted you a couple when I was at the movie, but I already 10 pages past that in our chat, so I don't know. I'm not going back to find those.
I don't. I left during the trailer part. Take care of something, so I don't really remember any good trailers. I just know what movie I'm looking forward to next, and that is what's the name?
Project Hail Mary.
Oh, well, Project Hail Mary, but there's one before that. It comes out this month. Oh, no, not Scream.
I'm saying Scream's the 27th for me. I'll be there for sure. Oh, the Odyssey, the Oracle's saying.
Oh, the Odyssey's this summer. I did see part of that one. That looks extremely good, but it's Christopher Nolan, so.
Yeah, but it's also the wrong person playing Helen of Troy, though. Let's go for accuracy, Chris. Let's go for accuracy. Just saying.
You should have a greet there.
I'm just throwing it out there, dude. You know, she shouldn't be playing Joan of Arc either, and they went with that recently, or upcoming. It's just foolishness. But something else this month or March?
Yeah, it comes out this month. It's a 3-name title.
Oh, Good Luck, Don't Die, or whatever it is.
Yeah, good luck, have fun, don't die. That's
dude,
it.
If this was a game show, we'd be cleaning them up. You just keep handing me them clues, dude.
Yeah.
I know what you're trying to say. I got you. That looks like fun. That looks like Shaun of the Dead World's End fun to me. Yeah. I don't know why. That's exactly. I think that was one of the ones I texted you. I'm like, dude, I don't know what this is. Is this based on a book? Because this looks kind of good. I do want to.
It looked. I saw the preview. I forgot what movie we went to go see, but I saw the preview then, and I just remember the part where she's like, her boyfriend's like, "Oh, have fun, good luck, don't die," and she's like, "What'd you say?" and then that was the title of the movie. I thought that was pretty nifty.
It looks weird. It looks weird in the good kind of way.
Yeah,
I'm definitely down to check that out. I will be checking out Scream though. I was gonna have a Scream topic up for tonight because it's like the 30th anniversary.
Yeah.
So I think Scream came out. The OG came out in like December '96, I think. We'll save that for next week. We can go into like a Scream retrospective mode or something ahead of that.
Okay. And we did have another great pass away this week. I think we've been on a bad slope lately. I think a lot of good voice actors, a lot of good actors have all passed away like in the last 2 weeks. Yep. But Robert Duvall passed away, and like
legend.
Like I love Robert Duvall in movies. I just do. And like someone had like, what's your favorite Robert Duvall movie? And like the one that I say most people haven't watched is The Range, and it's with him and Kevin Costner, and they're like cattle drivers, and it's about free rangers versus corporate rangers, or not rangers,
cowboys,
freed grazers versus corporate grazers. So when they're moving their herd, they let them just like eat anywhere. And it was a really good movie because like it had the gunfight at the end was like the most realistic gunfight because this guy, his arms in the sling, he's like, "You're the gun hand." He's like, "Yeah, I am." He just walks up, pulls his gun, and shoots him straight in the head to start it off. Like
there it is.
Like, why admit you're the best? Like that's how I do it. Which is why they're still like their guns are still in their holsters. You've already taken out your biggest threat.
All right, kaplap. Done. That's how it should be. That's how we should get things done around here. That's an RIP to a legend, though. He'll be missed. I think he passed at 84, so my man had a great run.
Yeah, he passed away in peace.
It was a peaceful ending, hopefully. You know, no big illness, no big injury. You hate to see that.
He was surrounded by family, by his wife, and he just didn't wake up the next day.
I'm gonna say sadly, I'm always forever gonna now be reminded of Gene. Like Gene Hackman did not get that, and that makes me sad to this day still. You know, so R.I.P. Robert Duvall. No man of a million movies, always adding massive credibility and presence.
He was 95, not 84.
95. He was 95.
He was 95.
Even more so to what I just said then. And my man had a great, fantastic run.
He had a great movie with RDJ too called The Judge. That was a really good movie too.
I remember that one. Oracle, you sure Robert Duvall was 95? Gene Hackman was 95. I'm pretty sure Duvall was 84. She's nodding her head in the background. All right, never mind. I'll stand corrected. Either which way, great run. You hit 80, it's a great run. In my book, it's a great run. So, all right, dude. I think why don't we? Hold on, Travis. What's up, dude? Paneling on his suit looks a bit like Green Goblin suit. I wonder if some of his suit was found in that alley and reverse engineered to help make that suit. What? Was this maybe a trickle-in comment from earlier when we were jammed?
It might have been. This might have been back when we were looking at Noir.
Oh, dude, Travis, if that comment is related to hopefully Spider-Man's Noir trailer and not Robert Duvall's passing, that would make more sense. We had some technical difficulties multiple times earlier in the show. We're sorry if that impacted anybody's viewing experience. Hasn't happened to the channel before. Hopefully it doesn't happen next week. But we love you guys anyway. King Z, why don't you read us out of here so we can go get to the rest of our evenings, and we'll tell everybody we'll see them next week.
Bye, people.
Bye, guys. Da, da, da.